Good morning, children. Today in English in class 11, we'll begin this chapter, Ranga's Marriage. The story dates back to the early days of the British rule, and at that time, life in villages was slow, and child marriage was something that was a common practice. We also very interestingly come to know how the narrator brings a change in the views of Ranga about marriage and convinces him and gets him married to this girl who's 11-year-old, and she is Ratna. Due to the narrator's meticulous planning with the village astrologer, Ranga ultimately gets Ranga and Ratna married. And in fact, he likes the girl very much, so his views, which had undergone a change, he is now convinced by the narrator. About the characters we have Ranga. Now he is the son of an accountant in the village, and his father had sent him to Bangalore for pursuing his studies further. But the city life has not changed him, and when he returns, he follows the same traditions, is courteous to his elders, and Ranga's views about marriage are non-traditional because of the influence of the city of Bangalore. The narrator is able to convince him and gets him married to the girl Ratna eventually. Then we have this character Shama, who is the narrator. He is a neighbor of Ranga, and he is very impressed by Ranga's cultured behavior. And so he takes the help of the village astrologer. He takes his help, takes him into confidence, and finally both of them succeed in getting Ratna and Ranga married. Then Ratna is an 11-year-old girl. She is an orphan. So now she stays with her uncle Rama Rao in the village of Hoshali. She is a pretty girl. She is also able to sing very well and sweetly. She can play musical instruments, and she impresses Ranga at the very first sight. Now, Shastri is a village astrologer who plays his role to perfection, as he has been tutored or taught by Shama. And this is what the story is about. So we'll begin now. Ranga, the accountant's son, is one of the rare breeds among the village folk who has been to the city to pursue his studies. Rare breed means uncommon person. So, uncommon because nobody went out of the city ever. So, he was the first one. His father was an accountant, and his father wanted him to be educated. So, therefore, he sent Ranga to Bangalore. When he returns to his village from the city of Bangalore, the crowds mill around his house to see whether he has changed or not. And when he returns to the village, the entire village, they come and crowd around his house because they wanted to see whether he has changed or not. Has the city changed him in some way or the other? Because they are all simple people. His ideas about marriage are now quite different, or are they? When he went to Bangalore, his ideas were different. Over there, his ideas underwent a change, and then once he returned, again his ideas about marriage changed. So we take up now. When you see this title, some of you may ask Ranga's marriage. Why not Ranganathan Viva or Ranganathan Vijay? So it's a very simple title, Ranga's marriage. It's nothing very fanciful, it is nothing very appealing, but it's a simple story of this village boy. Well, yes, I know. I could have used some other mouth-filling one like Jagannathan Vijay or Girija Kalyan. He says, I could have thought of many other such titles, which would have definitely been more impressive. But then, this is not about Jagannath's victory or Girija's wedding. So he says, here we are not talking about triumph. We are not talking about victory. It's just a simple story. It's about our own Ranga's marriage. That is how all villagers get together. They feel that they all belong to the same village, and therefore they are there to support each other. And hence no fancy title. That means a simple title is what he thought of the best. Hoshali is our village. So that is the name of the village in which they are residing. You must have heard of it. No. What a pity. But it is not your fault. He says that you must have heard of this name, Hoshali, the village in which they are living. But then he is also stating that it is not your fault. There is no mention of it in any geography book. He says, I don't blame you that you are not aware of the existence of this village and the people here, because the mention has not been made in any of the geography books. Those sahibs in England, that is the British time and the British rule, so those officers writing in English probably do not know that such a place exists, and so make no mention of it. That meant that if Indian people were not aware, obviously those people were also not aware of the existence, and therefore there has been no mention of it anywhere in any of the books. Our own people too forget about it. He says, I don't blame the British. Even our own people, our Indians, also forget to mention about it. You know how it is. They are like a flock of sheep. He says, you know the way things work. That is, one sheep walks into a pit. The rest blindly follow it. That is, that if the British have not done it, the Indians will not do it. So it's just that they don't even think, they don't even contemplate, and carry on with what they are doing. When both the sahibs in England and our own geographers, who have not referred to as geographers dealing with geography, you cannot expect the poor cartographer to remember to put it on the map, can you? Now, cartographer is a person who makes or draws maps. So he says that if the cartographer cannot be blamed when even other people have not talked about it or not mentioned it. So they have not mentioned it on the map. And so there is not even the shadow of our village on any map. So that is the reason why he says that the place, that is the village Hoshali, cannot be located on the map, because it cannot be seen over there as it has not been included in the map. Sorry, I started somewhere and then went off in another direction. He says, I'm sorry that I started with Ranga's marriage, of course, but then I began to talk about the British and the inclusion of not being there, or the Hoshali village not being mentioned in the map. If the state of Mysore is to Bharatvarsh what sweet Karega Badu is to a festive meal, then Hoshali is to Mysore state what the filling is to Karega Badu. Now this is actually an Indian sweet. It's an Indian sweet dish. It is a South Indian fried sweet, which has a filling of coconut and sugar. What I have said is absolutely true. That is what Hoshali is meant to Mysore. Likewise, the sweet dish will not be complete without the filling. Believe me, I will not object to your questioning it, but I will stick to my opinion. That means that whether you are convinced by me or not, whether you believe in my opinion or not, it doesn't really matter. But I will stick to my opinion. That meant that he has a very high opinion about his village Hoshali. He feels that everything is special about his village. So he doesn't mind whether people differ or they agree with his opinion. I am not the only one who speaks glowingly of Hoshali. He says that I am not the only person that he thinks his village is the best. Everything over there is special. And with him, there is one of his friends who is a doctor who also entirely agrees with him. His name is Gunda Bhatt. He agrees with me on the fact that it is the best village. He has been to quite a few places. No, not England. If anyone asks him whether he has been there, he says, no, Ananya. Ananya. That is a term for respect to an elder person. I have left that to you. Running around like a flea-pestered dog is not for me. I have seen a few places in my time though. As a matter of fact, he has seen so many. So he says that his friend Gunda Bhatt, who is a doctor, has travelled widely all over the world. He also has the same belief, he has the same opinion about the village Hoshali. So that is what he feels, and he feels nice, he feels delighted about it.